Welcome to the Rabbit Hole Fantasy Football Podcast. Thoughts, analysis, and information to help you succeed in your fantasy football leagues. I am your host, Chad Lyon, and joining me is Tyler Bevel.
Hey.
And our producer, Mitchell Bird.
Hello.
This is our Week 17 Saturday, Sunday, and Monday game slate preview. Well, was your Christmas better than the Christmas games?
Oh, my God. It's not even close.
Yeah, no kidding. Ugh. Gross, man. I don't know. I would say it's quite likely that Kelsey and Henry may have won some championships for people, depending on how the rest of the week goes here. I thought they won me a league. Now it's a little in question. I'm not sure. Kaimi Fairbairn.
0.
Yeah. I did start both them, Kelsey and Henry, in 2 different finals. I'm ecstatic about that. The one, I think I've got. The other one, it's like nothing. I lost Hurts. I don't know if I'm going to be able to have Garendo. I had to start Hopkins because I didn't know how the injuries were going to shake out. I'm sure a lot of people had to deal with that nonsense. I hate what the NFL is doing with these games.
Yeah, I don't like it either. You can take every game away that's not on a Sunday or Monday, and I'm fine with it.
Agreed. Mm-hmm. 1 Thursday game a year, maybe 2.
Thanksgiving.
And they're both on Thanksgiving.
Yep.
All right. We can do 2. We can do an afternoon.
Give me the 3-banger on Thanksgiving. I don't care.
Yeah, that's
it, though.
Too.
That's it.
Yeah, a 1, a 4, and an 8.
Yep.
That's, I don't know, man. That,
sorry, Detroit and Dallas. And one other team.
Yeah.
You used to having your schedule messed up once a year and then get the rest of these games out of here. It's just, you just watch the games and it feels like the players don't want to play them. Like, who wants to play a football game on Christmas? Those guys want to be home with their families, too.
Yep. I agree with John Gruden. Enough.
Yeah.
Did you see John Gruden's rant about it?
No.
Oh, he's just like, come on. He's like, no offense to MLB, NBA. He's like, it's not the same. These guys are not ready. He goes, so there's that. There's the side of it for the players. Like, they need rest and recovery, and you're not allowing them to get that. Secondly, he goes, you hardly do anything on Monday after the game. He goes, Tuesday, everyone's trying to get rested up and recover and feel better and ice baths and this and that. And he's like, Wednesday, you're doing a walkthrough. Thursday, you're playing. He's like, there's no time for coaches. Like, he goes, we can't figure out what their blitz schemes are. We can't figure out what their goal line defense is. We can't do any of this stuff. He said, and it creates a poor product because nobody's prepared and players are hurt, especially this time of year. You get late in the year and it's like, come on.
That aspect of it makes a ton of sense. And maybe, to me, like I said, you're watching a game that the players don't want to be there.
Yeah.
But maybe it's just you can't prepare. You can't get physically back into the shape you want to be to play a football game.
No. And maybe, the meat in the middle is, okay, do Thursday games until week 7 and then no more.
Right.
Even maybe that's a meat in the middle kind of thing. Like, because once you get to a certain point in the year, man.
There's not going to be a meet in the middle, though. No. Amazon's involved, and it's
over.
It's done.
It's over.
It's going to happen. We're just venting.
Which is crazy. What's crazy to me, though, is like, why would the NFL want to put forth this awful product? Why? It's like when they go overseas, it's like, here, check out the worst of our product.
But people like us are still going to tune in to watch their fantasy teams. And
you're right. You're right. Hey, if the Steelers let Najee walk, I'm interested in Jaylen Warren next season, big time.
Yeah.
George Pickens, fantastic receiver, man. Like some of that, it didn't really show in the fantasy production.
No,
but he is so sure-handed. I mean, a couple of those catches, I'm like, there was one in particular that he had no business catching that ball, and he did.
Yeah.
So sure-handed. Man, is he good? There isn't a single Texan who really did anything for you other than like aid in losing a championship. What's going on with Stroud? He's just missing guys, flat out missing guys.
Too busy trying to be the big bro.
Yeah. Yeah, he ain't doing that anymore.
Yeah, just worry about yourself for the moment. Like, you had a good year last year, and now you're kind of not playing very well. So get it together.
Yeah. What's crazy is like you have pieces, man. You can't really.
No, and coming into the season, wow. I mean, everybody thought the Texans were primed to make a run. I mean,
are you still okay with Stroud in like dynasty formats, or do you have some concern?
There's some concern there.
Okay. I think it's going to be okay.
I do too. But I definitely haven't ranked way lower than I did coming into this year after seeing another full year.
Yeah, there'll be a little adjustment on that.
Yeah.
Thursday Night Football. Yuck, dude. The Seahawks and the Bears, that was 6-3. What? All right. Concerned Caleb Williams in Dynasty.
No.
Okay. No, me neither.
Not the organization is the problem.
Yep. Man, I was, on social media and stuff today, just looking at what people had to say, and like people are off the Williams train. Like, oh, this kid. I don't know, man. The complaint on the counter to what I'm going to say. Come on, man. The guy drops back. He gets in his third step, and it's immediate guys right in his face. Like, what's he supposed to do? The argument to that is no, that's him holding onto the ball too long. And I'm like, I don't know. I watched that game last night, and I've watched a lot of Bears. Does he hold onto the ball too long at times? Sure. Is that the root of the problem? I don't think so. I think it's the O-line.
Yeah.
It's really bad. So I am not running away from Caleb and Dynasty. I'm still in on this. He did some things. Did you watch that game last night?
Yeah.
There were a couple plays, like the 4th and long, where he hit DJ Moore.
Yeah.
The jump pass, where he looked like Michael Jordan with legs all spread out and rifled that thing into Roma Dunes for the touchdown that got taken away. That was another one. Like, man, that was a great play.
Yeah.
It's there, man. It's there. It's just they need leadership. They need like a real coach. They need Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
Come in and get things organized, structure it up. He needs good defense and a good running game, just like anybody else, man. He's not Joe Burrow right now. He probably won't be Joe Burrow, but he's not Joe Burrow, you know? So yeah, I'm still in on Caleb Williams. JSN disappointed a little bit, but I think a lot of last night was a lot of the rain too. Like it was just at halftime, I'm like, all right, rain will slow up, they'll come out, maybe things will. No, it was a monsoon. All right, let's get into our top 3 list here. Tyler, give me your top 3 cold weather activities. It is cold in Pennsylvania right now.
Yeah, very cold. Hunting's number 1.
Yeah.
Like to get out there this time of year, and anything you can hunt for in Pennsylvania, I'm pretty much game. I haven't done it in the last couple of years, but I have gotten some of my stuff out this year and poked around with it. Hopefully, ice fishing. Really enjoy that.
Yeah.
Some of these last couple winters, though, we haven't really had the opportunity for it, though, either.
I wouldn't have done it.
And third one, I'm just going to say keeping warm inside and playing some video games.
Right on. Nothing wrong with that. Mitchell?
Number 1 is going to be hunting. I'm going to single out flintlock, though, because it's a Pennsylvania tradition, and still trying to be successful at it. Number 2 is going to be sled riding with my son, just getting out in the snow, have a good time. And number 3 is going to be driving with my windows down, but the heat blasted on high. Something I enjoy about having the windows down and my legs all toasty and just the air cool around my face.
So you like getting the flu?
Well, no, it doesn't give me the flu.
I'm sorry. I did not expect you to say that at all.
My immune system handles it. It doesn't bother me. But
Middle of summer, Mitchell's in the garage like, man, I just can't wait till I can have my heater blasting on my feet and have my window down. It's 13 degrees outside.
It feels like that came completely. Like I did not expect.
Yeah. No, you get that heat cranked on your feet, and you just get the window down just enough to get the cool air running. Oh, I love it.
No, I don't. I cook in my car when it's cold out. I'm such a wimp. I'll go with hunting whitetail specifically. Sitting inside in a toasty house and watching football. Sitting inside in a toasty house and playing Madden.
Nice.
I don't. When the weather's nice, I don't really touch the PlayStation. But this time of year. Yeah, I get some franchise mode going on and build some teams. And I have a good time with that. But like all the cool stuff is like, it's coming for you, Ty. You're in the middle of it. But like, I don't get to go out and like build snowmen anymore. My kid's 20.
Yeah.
I don't get to do that. There's no sled riding for me anymore. Nothing like that. Building snow forts.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose we could go out and snowball fight, but that's kind of weird with your 20-year-old son. So
I'd probably do it.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely throw snowballs at him when he's not looking, but
just like a quick one, like bam.
Yeah, it's not the same.
And you run inside.
Pretty much. All right, that's all I got. Let's get into some games, shall we? All right, we got a lot, so we're gonna have to boogie. Listen, at this point, things are pretty cut and dry, so we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on your obvious stuff here. So let's start with Saturday games: the Chargers at the Patriots. So there's nobody really worth speaking of outside of Hunter Henry and maybe Ramondre Stevenson. Avoid or start either one of these guys. avoid as well. It's just hard to merit any real trust here. With Henry. Stevenson is so touchdown dependent, and Gibson. So there's a thing here. Gibson is getting significantly more involved. 21 total touches over his last 2. He's not doing a lot with it, but he is certainly, at minimum, stepping on Stevenson's toes, as if Stevenson even needs that. There's reports that Stevenson could be benched. If you are playing the Stevenson owner and they're not privy to this, go add Antonio Gibson, put him on your bench just to be safe. You're in the finals, okay? Yeah. Just go be safe. You don't need to use them. Just block your opponent. I don't really have anything else for the Patriots here. I don't
like that matchup.
No. And like
Chargers
I said,
is still playing for a lot too.
I'm pretty sure it came right out of Gerard Mayo's mouth. Like, we've considered benching him. Like, right. we're talking about it, so it could happen. Either way, his workload's going to get stymied here. It's almost a guarantee. The Chargers, Dobbins looks like he's going to return. Gus Edwards has been ruled out. J.K. Dobbins is a what this week?
RB2.
He's an RB2. Yeah, I'm starting him here. Patriots defense, Yeah, give me J.K. Dobbins this week. If you held on to him and you're in the finals, this is great.
Yeah.
This is great. We're starting McConkey. How much Christian Gonzalez do we expect him to see, or do we even care?
I don't care too much, and with McConkey's role, I don't expect him to see a ton.
They move him around a lot.
Yeah.
No less than 14 PPR points in 5 straight, with a minimum of 6 targets in each of those last 5. He's a receiver too.
Yeah.
Start or sit Herbert for the quarterback carousel teams out there.
Start.
Running game gets going. Maybe he picks it up with it.
Yeah.
All right. I would like to personally avoid it. But again, carousel, you're playing matchup. Maybe Richardson's not available. Maybe you're worried about health. Yeah, okay. I could see it.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else for that?
Nope.
You starting the Chargers D?
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the Broncos at the Bengals. So this game should have high scoring affair written all over it. Agreed?
Yeah.
Monitor the weather. It could be heavy rain, which does concern me. But you're starting your main Bengals. It doesn't matter. You're starting Burrow. You're starting Chase. You're starting Higgins. You're starting Brown. Higgins is questionable, but it sounds like he's going to play. The Denver defense doesn't concern me here. Even with a healthy Surtain and Moss, it's just been proven the Broncos can be ran on. So there's no concern for Chase Brown either. These guys got you here. You start them.
Yeah, I think even monsoon weather for Jamar Chase, I make the argument that they'll get the ball in his hand one way or another. They'll run screens. They'll run those little pick plays. They'll find a way to get him the ball.
Yep.
Don't get cute. I don't care what the weather report is. Jamar Chase is
he's not Mike Evans.
No.
He'll yak you to death.
Yep.
For the Broncos, I'll start Nix and I'll start Sutton, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I'll do it with faith, barring a monsoon. Would you start Nix over Herbert?
Yes.
Even with the weather?
Yeah.
Okay. Bengals defense, I mean, they're terrible. Somebody other than Sutton could pay off. I'm just not willing to risk it.
The Nix over Herbert is definitely, with Nix running the ball a little bit more.
He's starting to do that.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, it's Nix or Sutton. And if the weather scares you and you have a better option, by all means, like I understand. Yep. I get it. The running backs, no. Nothing here. You shouldn't be toying with us at this point. Are you going to start either defense?
No.
I am not either. All right, let's move on to the Cardinals at the Rams. Man, things are falling apart for the Cardinals.
Rams are a tough team to play right now, too.
Yep. Kyler is entering his moping phase.
Yeah.
So I actually have zero interest in anyone not named Trey McBride or James Conner, barring his questionable tag. So monitor that. He's been limited, which is positive. They said he's trending in the right direction, so take that for what it's worth. I assume you don't have any concerns with McBride. James Conner, if he plays, you're going to play.
No, but if you're in the championship right now, monitor the James Conner thing. Especially if you're in running back trouble.
he has it sounds like he has significantly better odds to play than Trey Benson from what I read and heard today.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if Connor's out, you might not have Benson.
No.
So I hope you've got something. I'm not interested in Marvin Harrison unless I have absolutely no choice.
Yeah.
Would you start Jacoby Myers over Harrison?
Yeah.
I think I would too.
Against the Saints
I
defense,
would.
right?
Yeah, I think I would. I would for sure. We'll talk about Kyler again here in just 1 second. Let's go over to the Rams. You're starting Kyron. You're starting Puka. But can we get a little bounce back for Kupp?
I hope so. I think so.
He's fallen through the floor 2 straight weeks.
Yeah.
I said last week that I don't expect that to happen again and he'll bounce back. He did not. 5 PPR points. That was better than 0.
I'm going to say it one more time.
All right. He's bouncing back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, man, I need him to get people closer to 15 PPR points here. Like this could be Kupp's last hurrah. It's so weird. That was fast, right? That feels so fast.
Very fast.
Same with Stafford, bounce back game here at home.
Yeah.
Can we get 20 fantasy points in a 5-point per passing touchdown league for the quarterback carousel folks out there?
From Stafford?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we can get 20 here. Would you start him over Kyler? Would you start him over Kyler in his moping phase?
Yeah.
Yeah. They got nothing to. They're out. So yeah, I will too. Several weeks ago, I would not have said the same thing, but yeah, this is the Kyler I don't like. I don't like mopey Kyler. He drags everybody down with it, man. It's not good. Body language is horrible. I don't want anything to do with Kyler this week. Defenses, Rams, Cardinals, rather avoid it.
Yeah, void, I guess.
Same. All right, let's move on to the Sunday 1:00 games, and we'll start with the Cowboys at the Eagles. Jalen out, Pickett in. So without Jalen, the Cowboys can key in on Barkley, but you're absolutely starting him. That does not matter, and there are high odds that he runs all over the Cowboys defense regardless.
You're not going to convince me that offensive line doesn't want to get Barkley there.
Oh, he's got a ways to go.
Yeah.
Well over 200.
2 games.
I know. The last one's against the Giants, so they shut him down, though. That's
twice. Come on.
No. I mean, does the offense or do the Eagles just shut down the Cowboys?
Yeah.
Could happen. You'd think if he goes into that game needing like around 100 yards,
you got to go get it.
You'd think so. You're starting AJ Brown regardless as well. And Devonta is a boom bust wide receiver 3 flex.
Yep.
So we know what to do if Jalen plays, but without Jalen, what kind of confidence do we have in those 2 receivers?
I don't know. And honestly, AJ Brown is probably lower for me than just because I don't have as much confidence in Kenny Pickett hitting AJ Brown on some of those passing routes that.
Well, the targets were there. They kind of were there for Devonta too. I think Devonta had 7 targets. Boy, that drop.
Ugh.
It's got to haunt him forever.
You see the post game?
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
He handled it the right way.
He did.
Good for him.
Yeah.
He's like, I gotta catch a goddamn ball. That's it. I think targets could help overcome the problem for Brown, for Devonta. I don't know. It's tough. You got to start AJ Brown. Devonta Smith, you might be able to get away with somebody else. Might have maybe you have Jacoby Myers. I don't know. You might have something else there you can do. So yeah, all the obvious stuff. Don't start Pickett. You got to start AJ Brown. You got to start Saquon Barkley, and you can start Devonta. But if you have a better option, I get it. CD is out. How about Rico Dowdle this week against the Eagles' run defense?
Good luck.
Good luck. Yep, not a fan. I would like to fade this if I could, but if you don't have a choice, you better temper your expectations and hope he falls into the end zone. He's probably going to need that to get you something somewhat respectable, right? Agreed?
Yeah.
Start Jake Ferguson or go elsewhere if you can.
He's startable.
He's startable. I would like to search elsewhere if I could, but I get it. And no CD, maybe he gets a boost, right? Starting the Eagles D?
Yeah.
Strong agree. All right, let's move on to the Panthers at the Buccaneers. Smash start Chuba every week.
He did have a questionable tag. Is he good?
I believe so. Let me double check real quick. Should have already had this, and I don't have any of the pertinent information pulled up that I need.
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Chuba is questionable. And status is up in the air for week 17. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna get a notification about 90 minutes before kickoff with this one. So,
Oh boy.
yeah, if he plays though, I mean it's a very
Smash start.
obvious smash start.
Yep.
The Bucs have been tough against running backs. They've only given up 2 touchdowns on the ground over the last 5 games. So, but I don't care. If he's playing, he's
Does
set.
Chuba have one of them?
Oh, he might actually. It's a great question. I have the pertinent information pulled up now, so this won't take very long. And no, he does not.
Chuba.
Yeah,
Fine.
Chuba scored 2 last time they played Tampa.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Division games.
Division games, man, they can be really tricky, but you got to play them. Got to play them. I would also like to flex Adam Thielen. He might be a receiver too, actually.
Target machine.
Crazy. He dropped 23 PPR points on Tampa last time they played. So would you agree with that? Thielen is flexing, but it could be like receiver
Give me some
too.
Thielen.
Yeah, totally agree.
He was just hanging out at the beginning of the year.
I
Like
know.
everybody else is tired. He's like ready to go.
Poor guy was hurt for a bit and then come back and just like, hey, I'm back.
I'm still Adam Thielen.
For real. I didn't expect this at all. 10 or more PPR points in his last 4. 15 or more PPR points in 3 of his last 4. The targets are there. It doesn't matter what other receivers are on the field and healthy. Bryce Young trusts him. The Buccaneers struggle against the pass. I can see Thielen rewarding a lot of people who get to flex him this week. So be happy with that. Good ad. For the Bucs, it's easy. Cade Otton is out. You start Baker, you start Mike Evans, you start Rashad White, and you start Bucky Irving. But who's your favorite start out of that? Let's without Baker, between Evans, White, and Bucky. Who's your favorite start? Bucky is my favorite start. We'll say if you could only flex one, it'd be Bucky for me.
Yeah.
Yes. The Panthers are dead last against the run. Give me the better of the 2 running backs. If I had to make a ridiculous decision and have all, and I could only pick one. If for whatever reason I had all 3, which is completely reasonable, I'm flexing Bucky.
Yeah.
I'd hate to. I'd hate to have to make that decision. But also I want to note, Rashad White's fumbles have been brought up by the staff more than one time this week. Do you think Bucky sees a few more touches?
Very possible.
I think it's very possible. I think he gets 4 or 5 more than what he usually gets, and that could mean something.
Yeah.
All right. Are you going to start a defense? I am not.
No.
If I had to pick one, it would be the Buccaneers, but I'd prefer to not.
Yeah, I'm not gonna though. Bryce Young did pretty good against this Bucs team last time they played.
Yeah, it was like
too.
20, 21
fantasy
fantasy points.
Low 20s.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the Jets at the Bills. Another game here where rain could be a problem. It's like raining across the whole country apparently this weekend. So, but let's talk about this. Hoping the weather is okay. East Coast, yeah, right. Let's talk about this as if weather's not an issue. Obviously, feelings would change some if it's like a friggin' monsoon. But I'm starting my Jets. They probably got me here, shockingly enough. So I'm starting Breece Hall if I survived with him. And the same goes with Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson. And I do like the potential for a squeaky wheel game for Garrett Wilson. He's starting to get a little louder about it. Like, what are we doing here? Why
Single
am I even
coverage,
here?
throw the fade.
What am I? He's like, what are we doing here?
Single coverage, throw the fade. Very adamantly.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, he's starting to talk more.
Yeah.
He's getting a little not thrilled.
I think Aaron gives him like this. Listen here, young sir.
I don't know. I don't know. But I like Garrett Wilson this week to finish strong for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a gut feeling. I also like Adams to give perfectly respectable numbers as well.
Yeah, we need more than that.
Yeah, I know. I know you do. I know you do. But yeah, I'm starting Breece Hall. I'm starting Garrett Wilson. I'm starting Devontae Adams.
I don't care if Aaron Rodgers says, you know what, you want to run your mouth? I'll just throw it to Adam 25 times. I'd be perfectly okay with that.
No, I know you would.
I don't think it's going to happen. I'm with you. Garrett Wilson, try to get him the ball a little bit, I think.
I don't think the Bills D is that great.
No.
They've been struggling a little bit. As for the Bills, start Josh Allen, and you just hope the MVP race and the second seed still being available just catapults them to a strong finish for you. You don't question this. You just start Josh Allen. I'm starting Shakir, and he's the only receiver I have any interest in. I think that goes for everybody sitting here. I should have had a better week last week. Drops were an issue, for someone who otherwise is basically like automatic with his targets, right? Again, as long as weather isn't like this big problem, I like Shakir fine this week as a flex, and you're very obviously starting James Cook. The weather shouldn't bother you too much either way as far as James Cook goes, and that also goes for Breece Hall. So interest in any defense here. Like I said, this is all going to be pretty well obvious cut and dry stuff at this point.
No.
But any defense?
No.
I would rather not. If I had to pick, probably would go with the Bills at home, I guess.
Yeah.
I'd rather avoid the whole thing, though. Okay, let's move on to the Colts at the Giants. Love, like, or hate the idea of starting Anthony Richardson, who play the carousel game?
I like it. I just don't know if he's going to play.
Yep. It's concerning. They seem to have...
Love the matchup, though.
They seem to have enough faith here that he's going to play. I don't know. For those who don't have Hurts, if he does play, this is a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ty says. Personally, as long as he plays, I love this. I'm here. I'm in the finals. If he plays, I'm playing the ceiling of Anthony Richardson this week. If I'm either the carousel guy or the guy who may lose Hurts for the finals, he's one of my favorite plays as far as that goes here. The Giants have just given up, man.
Yeah.
They've tossed in the proverbial towel.
Tim Boyle, the proverbial towel.
Is he playing?
I don't know. He did. Didn't he come in for a couple snaps?
Did he? Crying out loud. Ugh, that's a bad roster.
Didn't DeVito get banged up or something? He came in. No,
Yeah,
I shouldn't say that. I thought I seen that Tim Boyle had played a little bit.
Well, he did. He did in the DeVito game. Was that the last game? I don't know. It doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter. It's Drew Lock, DeVito, or Tim Boyle. Ugh, terrible. I think Richardson gets you. I think he gets you to 20 fantasy points this week, and maybe more. My only hang up here is the other Colt that I'm starting, and that's Jonathan Taylor. And by hang up, I don't mean like concern starting him.
No,
he's a smash start, especially against this terrible Giants team. The concern for me is actually Richardson, due to the potential of Taylor just running all over the place and hampering Richardson's value. At this point, this is a risk that I'm willing to take.
Richardson's got a little Cam Newton in him, though. They get down to the goal line, he'd be like, Superman this thing.
Yeah, sure. Yep. Yeah, give me some Richardson this week.
Take a rest there, JT.
Let me ask you this. If Richardson plays, you don't really, there's no interest in Pittman or Josh Downs really at this point, right?
Nope.
But if Joe Flacco plays,
yeah, that's a different story.
Your interest is in who? Pittman or Downs?
Downs.
Be Downs as well. Yeah. For the Giants, I'll start Neighbors, though he is questionable, so monitor that. And if Tyrone Tracy got me here and he's my best flex option, I'll start him.
Yep.
I think the passing game is what potentially will help him here. His interest is a little mild. He is questionable, so monitor that. Well, you know what? Actually, I think, no, he's not. He dropped that tag. I looked at that earlier. So forget that. Neighbors is just like, he's a case of if you have him, you start him.
Yeah, you don't really know what's going to happen because...
Yeah, it's kind of ugly, but he's been getting you there. He's basically good for like 14 PPR points a week. Like that's kind of like his floor, and he just like gets his floor constantly. Like it's strange.
Yeah, freaking Shane Falco back there throwing the ball.
yeah. But listen, you can do way worse. Do way worse than Malik Neighbors. Smash start the Colts defense.
Yeah,
strong agree. Let's move on to another banger here. The Raiders at the Saints. For the Raiders, you're starting Bowers. You can flex Myers, and I think that's fine. How about Madison or Abdullah? If you had to flex one, which one is it?
Me, Abdullah.
Give me Abdullah. 18 PPR points in 2 straight weeks. He's just more effective with his receiving work. He gets more of that than Madison does. 12 catches over his last 2 games for Abdullah. Whether it's PPR or standard, I'll take Abdullah.
Yeah.
Madison is more than likely, they're in close. Maybe you'll see more Madison there at the goal line. Like that's where he's just not a great running back. Give me Abdullah's potential for just like overall body of work across the whole game.
Yep.
You probably are in a position at this point, I would think, where you probably wouldn't consider this, but this has been a strange week, man. So if so, that's our thoughts. Abdullah over Madison.
Yeah.
And we're both going to agree on that.
I think you can make a gutsy, good move starting Abdullah.
Sure.
Like if you're in the running back spot, like you have somebody that, you're iffy on. If you have Ramondre Stevenson or something,
yeah,
you have Amir Abdullah sitting there. Go with Amir Abdullah.
Love that. I'm a fan of that. For the Saints, Kamara's out. I'm not starting anyone else. In the worst of pinches, I suppose you could play Kendre Miller, but I would really like to not do that. Kind of like the Raiders backs. I kind of have a hard time believing you would even need to consider that here. But again, it's been a weird week.
Yeah.
So, maybe people who have Garendo are afraid he's not going to play, and this is the only option they have other than him. I think Garendo will play. We'll get in that later. But maybe you're in that boat.
Right.
So, I don't know, man. This is this Saints team it's got to be the worst roster in the NFL. I don't even think it's that close.
It's great for Madden franchises.
yeah, right. Have fun with that.
Just build.
Start the Raiders D, right?
Yep.
Yeah, agreed. All right, let's move on to the Titans at the Jaguars. Yikes. Another garbage game.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer.
What do we make of this Pollard and Spears thing?
Frustrating.
I think it's pretty clear that Pollard is not fully healthy. Total touches over the last 2 are closer than you'd think, with Pollard at 27 and Spears at 23. Though I should note that I think Pollard did miss a portion of that Bengals game 2 weeks ago. So in the flex this week, last I looked, Pollard has not practiced at all. Pollard or Spears, Ty?
Spears.
Let me make sure. There's Pollard here. Still looking? Boy, he's way down here. Let me pull him up this way. This would be a lot. I should have checked this beforehand. He is still questionable. Yeah, he's still listed. He didn't practice at all this week. So Spears, I believe, is healthy, and that shouldn't be a problem. He is. He's got no tag whatsoever. So you're going to go Spears? Man, like if I just had to make a choice today, I'll go Spears. I'll take the Spears ceiling. You know what, actually? No. If I had this duo all year and have clearly been utilizing Pollard over Spears, because you have been, right? I'm going to make the switch. I don't know. I just don't think, again, I don't think Pollard's near 100%. Spears seems as though he is. He looks faster and more explosive. Yeah, give me Spears. I'm with you. Interest level and Ridley this week.
I had a decent amount of interest level in him.
Yeah, I think so. Revenge game.
Yeah.
Revenge game. You could flex him.
Mason will get him the ball.
Oh, for sure. Will he get Chig Okonkwo with the ball?
Yep.
Chig finishes top what at tight end this week?
5.
I'm going to go top 10.
Top 10.
All right, top 5. I'm going to have my eye on that one.
Yeah.
I hope he does. I like Chig Okonkwo, man. He's an athletic freak. He reminds me of David Njoku.
Yeah. Doesn't get as much credit, but
Njoku took forever to get
I'll make the argument that Chig Okonkwo does the dirty work better than David Njoku.
Yeah, I like Chig Okonkwo, man. I'd love to see him somewhere else that'll actually like utilize this guy. Ready for the Jaguars? Start Brian Thomas Jr. That's it.
See you later.
Yep. I'm not toying with Brenton Strange. I want nothing to do with the backfield. I'm out. How good is Brian Thomas Jr.?
Good.
This dude is just like, Here's 20 plus fantasy points all the time.
Mhm.
Here you go. Doesn't
Year
matter how
one.
ugly it looks.
Right.
Yeah, in year one. Man, is he surpassing guys for you, like dynasty receivers?
Oh, yeah. Especially you get Trevor Lawrence in there. Yeah.
Lawrence is concerning. I hope that gets fixed.
Yeah, me too. But for Brian Thomas's fantasy value, I mean,
Yeah, man, he is so good. He is. I'm curious to see where I put him, where I make an adjustment for Brian Thomas in dynasty rankings, because boy, he is way more than I expected him to be.
yeah.
Like, he does it all. Very good receiver. You going to start the Titans defense? Going to start the Jags defense?
Titans defense.
I'll go Titans. Okay, let's move on to the 4:00 games. The Dolphins at the Browns. For the Dolphins, you're starting Achane. You're not even going to bat an eye. You're starting Jonnu. You're not going to bat an eye. Hill and Waddle, last I checked, were both questionable. And both a scary start for me, no matter what. I would imagine if you got here with Tyreek, you're going to start Tyreek. And as long as Waddle's playing, I suppose if you have to, go ahead. But I wouldn't imagine you would have to, because you got here without him.
Right.
So I'd like to avoid him. You?
Agreed.
Okay. How concerned are you with Tyreek Hill this week? Like, he's at this point,
He- to me,
he's
he's
like a
not
wide
a good-
receiver 3.
He's not a good start. I don't see the Browns staying in this game for one.
Right.
If he's already banged up, if the game gets out of reach, I just don't think he has a lot of reason to be out there on the field playing injured.
Yeah, I agree. Browns, it seems as though DTR is going to start, so I'll start Njoku if he plays, and if I'm backed way into a corner, you can make an argument for Jerome Ford for sure. I mentioned if you're backed into a corner, Kendre Miller. Jerome Ford I'd go way, way in on Jerome Ford way before I'd even think about Kendre Miller. So this is a actually, I don't want to ask that question. I'll wait till later.
This is a tank, though.
Yes.
This is 100% a tank.
Yes.
I mean,
did you see Deshaun Watson restructured?
no.
Mm-hmm. So not so much of a complete teardown after this year, I'm guessing. I don't know. I don't know whatever that's going to mean. That dude's cooked. I'm sorry. Yeah, but anyway, you can make an argument for Jerome Ford. He's got the ability to crack off one big play at any given moment. I think he has like the most 60-yard rushes. I don't know, some weird stat over like a certain period of time. I don't know. It's a little risky, but there's way worse options than Jerome Ford. No doubt about it. Right?
Yeah.
Do you feel it's risky with Jerome Ford?
Risky, but better than some of the other options we've talked about. Yeah.
Okay. Smash start the Miami defense.
Yep.
Okay. Move on to the Packers at the Vikings. Obviously, you're starting Josh Jacobs. Is there any concern for a fantasy finals flop here against the stout Vikings run defense?
There's a chance for it, but I don't think so. I think the volume carries him through.
I wanted to see real quick. Obviously, these guys have played, so I should have pulled this up before. I'm just terrible today, Tyler. This is awful.
No.
Last time these guys met, Josh Jacobs dropped 11 PPR points. So
I'd say that's right about in the middle of where I feel this could go.
yeah, he's going to need some passing down work.
Yeah.
Would you start Love this week?
Yeah.
This could be a shootout, I think.
Could be.
He may or may not be, and would you rather? So
Did you know
tell me.
if the Lions and Vikings both win this week, it'll be the first time in NFL history that a team has won 14 games and one of those teams will not win the division.
Wild. That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Rank the receivers, Ty. Just for the Packers.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know, right?
Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, Romeo Dobbs.
Okay. If Watson plays, I'll go Reed, Dobbs, Watson, Wicks.
Okay.
Without Watson, I will go Reed, Wicks, Dobbs.
Okay.
I think without Watson, there's this just Wicks gets this weird bump like straight into the Watson role.
Right.
The boom potential of that for me puts him like second in the group of Reed, Wicks, Dobbs. So yeah, I'll take the big play upside here with that call. I would like to start Kraft.
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah, I like that.
I want to start Kraft this week. I got a gut feeling. I think this could be a high scoring game. I didn't even look at like the total, like from Vegas, but I have a feeling it's not really that low.
Right.
For the Vikings, start Darnold.
Yeah.
He dropped 23 fantasy points in 5-point per passing touchdown leagues last time he faced Green Bay. If Darnold got me here, I am starting Darnold. You're starting Jefferson. Addison is basically a receiver 2 at this point. He's inside the top 20. That's the receiver 2, right? So he's probably in your flex, and that's great. You're starting him as well. Thoughts on Aaron Jones against his old team? 18 PPR points last time he saw Green Bay.
I'm still confident starting him this week.
Me too. Are you starting Hawkinson?
Borderline.
I don't love it.
No.
It's not been great. Guess I would start him. There is guys I would prefer if at all possible. There's guys I would rather.
Yeah.
I don't have to I don't know. I don't imagine that you'd have to start him in this position. Like if you're here, you know what I mean?
Right.
Hawkinson has only hit 10 PPR points once in his last 4. Yeah, and since he's returned, he's only topped 10 PPR points twice. Yuck. Would you start Okonkwo over Hawk?
Yeah.
Ferguson over Hawk?
Yeah.
Tucker Kraft over Hawk? Ertz?
Yeah.
Kincaid. I agree with you on every single one of them. All right, that's not starting a defense, right?
No.
If you had to choose one,
give me the Packers defense.
The Packers too. Give me the Packers. All right, let's move on to Sunday Night Football. The Falcons at the Commanders. Bijan is obvious. Drake London is a lower end wide receiver too. I'd say he's pretty well similar to Malik Neighbors, right? As far as the output and averages go on a weekly basis. So you're starting him. He has dropped his questionable tag, so he's a go. How about Darnell Mooney?
I'm trying to avoid this if I can this week.
So this is another one that potentially has washout on it, written all over it with rain. I'll flex Mooney.
Okay.
6 targets, 5 catches for 86 yards in his first game with Penix. 13 PPR points. If at this point, if he's been a fairly steady flex for me, I'm just gonna kind of bet on what we saw last week and hope that carries over. If you have a better option, I completely understand. If you want to get away from the rain, I understand. But you better make that decision before too long because this is a Sunday night game. So this should be more of a game. As long as the weather doesn't kill it, this should be more of a game than what they just dealt with in the Giants, providing opportunity for more upside for someone like Mooney. And that certainly goes for London as well.
Yeah.
He finished with 11 PPR points on 8 targets. London did, even while missing a portion of the game that was well in hand due to that Falcons defense. And Kyle Pitts, no thank you.
Butterfingers.
Dude, he threw an interception.
Yeah.
I heard that on a podcast.
There you go.
They're like, Kyle Pitts threw an interception.
He should have a -2.
Yeah, for real. Commanders, smash start Jaden Daniels. He's ridiculous. Generally speaking, I would like Brian Robinson in this matchup. I should no concern over the 2 fumbles and him getting the doghouse treatment, maybe? Because McNichols got the majority of work after fumble number 2 last week against Philly. Or do you see this as more of like bounce back opportunity that Dan Quinn just might give him?
I'll go with bounce back opportunity.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so too. I'll start Brian Robinson. As long as McLaurin plays, you're going to start him. Been red hot. I didn't see his tag, so check that. And just to be clear, we come straight from work and do this, so like we don't have a lot of time. Like once this is written the previous night, and sometimes we don't catch everything. So when you hear of injuries, like you got to do a little something for yourself and go take a look. But yeah, he's been red hot, McLaurin. If you have him, you're very aware of this. Just monitor the tag. 17 or more PPR points in 4 straight. 21 or more PPR points in 3 of his last 4. 30 targets over that span. He's caught 25 of those targets and scored 6 times over those 4.
Crazy.
Unreal, hyper efficient, smash start, high end receiver 2 with total receiver 1 upside. The only reason I say receiver 2 is just because, hell, man, you might flex this guy.
Yeah.
That's insane. If you have Ertz and he's your best choice, you can, right? You can start him, but
Yeah.
just know the Falcons are top 10 against this position. All right. Are you going to start either defense, Falcons or Commanders?
Commanders if I have to.
Yeah, Commanders if I have to. Penix. Yeah. The new guy on the block.
Yep.
All right, last game here. Monday Night Football. The Lions at the 49ers. Well, I guess we shouldn't have cared if Goff was on the road last week. 28 fantasy points and 5 point per touchdown leagues. Can he give you 20 points here on the road against San Fran?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he can. The Niners defense shows good on paper through the air, but when you look at who they've played, legitimate offenses can fare just fine. And, you know, sometimes they can even fare really good against the Niners defense. So I'll start Goff this week if I don't have a better option, which leads me to pass catchers. St. Brown is obvious. How about Jameson Williams?
Yeah. I'll roll with the hot hand with Jameson Williams this week.
Yeah, I'm liking Jameson here. He's not as boom bust as we think.
Some consistency coming into play there for sure.
Yeah, you can't ignore the upside. The appeal is just way too much to turn away from. Targets were a concern earlier, right? But he hovers right around 7 targets on average now. So, and he has for several weeks. Since week 10, Jameson has 5 or more targets in 7 straight, 6 or more in 5 of those 7, and 7 or more in 4 of those 7. So that's a couple more targets per game than, what we'd grown accustomed to.
Yeah.
Jameson to me is a no-brainer.
I mean, stretch that out over a whole season. It's 120 targets. You're happy with that, right?
Yes. No-brainer, right? Laporta. You know the drill by now. You can, but it's risky.
A little bit of a brainer.
But aren't they all risky, though? Yeah, it's a little bit of a brainer. Yeah, they're all risky, man. Laporta's kind of come on here. How do you feel about Laporta this week?
A little touchdown dependent, but I mean, you can do worse.
Fred Warner going to just make things real tough, or
You could.
sure could. You're going to smash start Gibbs. He may be winning leagues for some of you. So, also the Niners have been pretty bad against the run.
Yeah.
So there's that. Would you start Purdy over Goff or Goff over Purdy?
Off over Purdy.
Agreed. This is tough because you attack Detroit through the air. Real tough to run on. Though their defense shouldn't say that. Detroit's fallen a little bit here lately as far as defense goes. It's not their foot's injury. Yeah, give me Goff, I guess. How about Purdy's pass catchers? Where are you on Debo after randomly dropping 24 PPR points last week?
I'll ride that train a little bit here.
So you're going to fall for it?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think Debo gets some action in there.
Okay. Juwan Jennings did not turn out to be the league winner that I thought he would be. That really bums me out.
What happened, Juwan?
I don't know. You going to start him here?
Only in a dire situation.
I will, but there are players that I would rather.
Okay.
Kittle's a smash start.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, right. You smash start Kittle. Don't get cute. Are you going to start Garendo if he plays?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll flex him. I don't love it. The O-line worries me, but he's got ability for big play. They're throwing the ball a little more.
Does Trent Williams just block everybody?
Apparently so.
What is going on?
Apparently so. Yeah. The problem is Garendo plays. This is a Monday night game, so it's tough. I'm in this boat. I can sympathize with everybody in this boat. I get it. Been limited this week, which is an upgrade from last week. So Patrick Taylor, I got no interest there without Garendo.
The 49ers need to win.
I thought they were out.
Are they out?
They're out. Yeah, I think they're playing for nothing.
Playing for nothing. That's not a good sign. Then.
No. Yeah, no interest in Patrick Taylor after seeing that. I also have no interest in Abanikanda. That's way too risky. But I think without Garendo, to go back to Debo, and like we saw last week, Debo should get a bump in work. Now, this is assuming Garendo doesn't play.
He did better running back than you, the wide receiver.
Yeah, no kidding. 5 carries for 25 last week.
Yeah.
Take that all day. Yeah, so without Garendo, the Niners backfield is just a big avoid for me. You as well.
Yep.
I'm not toying with that. You should have an insurance plan here, you really should. But I do believe, before we move on, it looks like everything I've looked at, it looks like Garendo's trending the right way for us. So I do think he's going to play Monday.
Young player, you would assume he wants to play too. He wants to get out there.
Sure he does. Do you have any interest in the Lions or the Niners defense?
No.
Okay. That's it neither do I. That's it for our game. So let's move on to Tyler's Week 17 DFS.
Ready. But I had this saved up here. Did not.
Oh my God, already.
Here we go. Quarterback, we got Jaden Daniels going against Atlanta, the 26th ranked defense against quarterbacks. At running back, we have Bucky Irving for 6,700 going against the 32nd ranked Carolina defense. Amir Abdullah from 4,900 going against the New Orleans 28th ranked defense. I said I believe in Cooper Kupp. I do. Got him for 6,500 here going against Arizona. Calvin Ridley for 5,500 going against Jacksonville. I do have Marvin Harrison Jr. on here. He's super cheap. Hoping for a boom week. You got to save some money somewhere. Chigo Conquo for 3,600. 24 ranked Jacksonville defense against tight ends. Aaron Jones Jr. for 6,200 in a revenge game. And then the Dolphins defense going against the Cleveland Browns.
I am a fan. Tyler, do you have any sneaky starts this week?
What's my sneaky start?
Sneaky starts of the week. I'll start. Here we go. It's kind of cheating a little bit. They're not that sneaky, but I'm not getting that cute in the playoffs. So Tucker Kraft at the Vikings, bit of a roller coaster. I expect a shootout. I like a Tucker Kraft game here. I think he gets you over 10 PPR points. And I do have another one. This is cheating. J.K. Dobbins at the Patriots. I only call him a sneaky start because we haven't seen him in weeks. And you're playing a team and you didn't expect them to have Dobbins, and all of a sudden now Dobbins snuck right into that lineup, and now you're dealing with that. There's no Gus Edwards. I like J.K. Dobbins this week along with Tucker Kraft.
Okay.
What do you got?
I'm going to go with Amir Abdullah.
Yeah, I like it.
He scored 18 points the past 2 weeks, like you said.
I know,
earlier.
he was my sneaky start a couple weeks ago. I was so proud of myself.
I think that continues.
I do too. That's
if you're in running back trouble, Amir Abdullah is my sneaky start this week. Not so sneaky, but
sneaky-ish.
Yeah.
All right. Ty, pick your phone right back up because here we go with Nick's Week 17 Boom List, read by Ty Guy.
Nick's Week 17 Boom List. Number 1, Bryce Young at the 31st ranked Buccaneers passing defense. Jordan Love versus the 30th ranked Vikings defense. Bucky Irving, recurring theme here.
Yep.
Versus the Panthers. Jonathan Taylor, obvious one against the Giants. I mean, Adam Thielen against the Bucs. We touched on that earlier. Nick's high on him. Cooper Kupp versus the Cardinals. Jonnu Smith at the Browns, and Titans defense against the Jaguars.
I like it.
Good boom list.
That is Nick's Week 17 Boom List, read by Tyler. All right. This is the last one of the year, and this is my favorite. Are you ready?
Yep.
Would you rather? Quarterback. Would you rather Jordan Love at the Vikings or Brock Purdy versus the Lions?
Jordan Love.
Give me Jordan Love. Would you rather Anthony Richardson at the Giants or pouty Kyler Murray at the Rams?
Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, so this is one I thought of only because like you wonder if some people like snuck into the finals and they have Kyler Murray. It's like you're just not feeling it. He's getting mopey. Would you go pick up Richardson and play him over Murray this week?
I'd have him and monitor his health, and if he was good to go, I'd probably play for the upside, yeah.
Man, I think I would too. Running back, would you rather Jerome Ford versus the Dolphins or Amir Abdullah at the Saints?
Me, Amir Abdullah.
Give me Jerome Ford. Running back. J.K. Dobbins at the Patriots or Brian Robinson versus the Falcons?
I'll go JK.
I'm going to go J.K. I got to stick with he was my sleeper this year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me go with J.K. Would you rather Isaac Guerendo, he plays versus the Lions, or Tyrone Tracy versus the Colts?
Guerendo.
Give me Guerendo as well. Would you rather wide receiver Juwan Jennings versus the Lions or Khalil Shakir versus the Jets?
Khalil Shakir.
I'll take Juwan Jennings this week. I have a gut feeling on Juwan Jennings this week. Would you rather Cortland Sutton at the Bengals or Ladd McConkey at the Patriots?
Ladd McConkey.
Weather. Assuming the weather is fine, I will take Cortland Sutton. Probably not going to be fine, though. Probably McConkey's probably the right call there, but I like Sutton in this potential shootout if the weather's just not too terrible, you know?
Yeah.
Would you rather Calvin Ridley at the Jaguars or Adam Thielen at the Bucks? I'll go Thielen here.
Give me Calvin Ridley.
Okay. We got a few tight ends here. Would you rather Mike Gesicki versus the Broncos or Jake Ferguson versus the Eagles?
Ferguson.
I'll take Ferguson. Would you rather Chig Okonkwo at the Jags or Tucker Kraft at the Vikings?
Chig Okonkwo.
I'll go Tucker Kraft. You should. You consider him top 5 this week. You should definitely. I think Kraft and Okonkwo can both be in the top 10. I just don't know. I don't know.
Mason likes some Chig Okonkwo, man.
Yeah, he does. He does. Last one. Jonnu Smith at the Browns. This is not a good one. Why did I do this? Jonnu Smith at the Browns or Sam Laporta at the 49ers?
That's how we're going to end it, Chad.
Yeah, for real. For real.
Jonnu Smith.
Yeah, give me Jonnu Smith. You want me to make this better? That wasn't very good. I can do better here. Let's do Jonnu Smith at the Browns or here we go. Jonnu Smith at the Browns or Chig Okonkwo at Jacksonville?
Chig Okonkwo.
Come on. Oh, I'll take Jonnu Smith. Oh, my God.
Chig Okonkwo is going to score 20-some points this week. I don't know about that.
Jonnu Smith.
I take that back.
Jonnu Smith at Cleveland or Tucker Kraft against the Vikings?
Jonnu Smith.
Jonnu Smith? Yeah, I'll take Jonnu Smith. Okay. All right. That's good enough. That's it. That's all we got. Any final thoughts?
I'm just going to bring up a weird thing here for my final thoughts. When we decided we were going to start doing this last year, we did a couple practice episodes. And for whatever reason, I was trying to hype up Chig Okonkwo in like one of our final practice episodes. And it's like come full circle at the end of this year. I'm like trying to hype Chig Okonkwo again. Like
that's funny. That's really funny. Boy, those practice shows were terrible.
Oh, they were bad.
It was the worst thing ever.
They were necessary.
But I do remember Chig Okonkwo, same thing, being in a tight spot. Like you got to go pick somebody up. Like Chig Okonkwo.
Yeah. You know, I got to say, my final thought, when I come into this thing, like I thought this was going to be so easy. Like, yeah, I've been playing fantasy football forever. Won a lot of money, won a lot of leagues. Same with Ty. I thought this was going to be so simple to just come on here and just talk about it. It's not.
No.
It's so much harder than I thought. Yeah, did you have fun though?
Oh, yeah.
I had a lot of fun. Mitchell, you have any final thoughts?
I had a lot of fun this year. Yeah,
me too. Well, okay then. I guess that's it for today's show. Again, as always, thank you all so much for tuning in and giving us your support throughout our first season. We are super, super grateful. This will be our final 2024-2025 weekly game slate preview episode for the year, but we'll be back next week with a little farewell type show, a little wrap up and after that, we're going to take some time and regroup and look into improving and, and everything, all across the board. So as well as, getting into off-season dynasty mode, in which we will have plenty of content, here on the podcast in the very near future. Fantasy never sleeps in the dynasty realm, so we will certainly be back very soon. with all kinds of fun off-season dynasty-related things. Until then, again, thank you so much to anyone who gave us a chance, even just a little chance here in our first year. So with that, good luck this weekend to every one of you. We hope you get some added joy to what, we hope was a super joyous Christmas. Don't get cute. Lean on what got you here. Go get your bag. See you next time, everybody.